legends are reaching me, sharing knowledge with you and me, teaching us how to lead with Sharon Lee. Sharon Lee. Sharon Lee. On the run. Sharon Lee. Sharon Lee. On the run. Yeah. Keep on building that synergy. One love that is on you and me. Keep on building that synergy. One love that is on you and me. Keep on building that synergy. One love that is on you and me. Keep on building that synergy. One love that is on you and me.
Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Happy Friday 2026. Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. First of all, happy Friday. It is so good to be back here with you again. I tell you guys, I have so many mixed emotions right now. I'm heading out of 2025. I got good emotions. I got confused emotions. I got sad emotions. I got unbelievable happy legacy emotions. And I don't know what to do with all this energy, guys. It's so much going on. It's been good. It's been bad. It's been wacky. But at the end of the day, on the Sharon Lee Briefing Podcast show, we're all about sharing our legacy stories with our community members. We're all about having fun over here. We're all about learning, and most importantly, we're all about leading. And who are we leading? We're leading the next generation to follow in our footsteps. And at the end of the day, that's what the Sharon Lee Briefing is all about. Telling our community legacy stories and getting one another to come together or reconnect and come together for the benefit of society. But guys, before I get started with all the wonderful stuff you're going to hear today in the podcast show, I want to share some administrative actions. First of all, I'd like to always thank our engineer team, Smart Video Girl, Crystal Glenn. Thank you always, honey, for working behind the scenes with our guests, educating them on how our platform is, and most importantly, making sure that, myself show up professionally on the Sharon Lee Briefing Podcast show. I'd like to also thank Dana Parker for our Sharon Lee on the Run theme song. I'd like to thank Sean Parker for always decorating the lights so that we can show up professionally. But most importantly, guys, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for coming back on the third season of the Sharon Lee Briefing Podcast show. This is our 6th episode. I can't wait to share our guests with you. I can't wait to do this call of action that's needed in my back door, guys, here in Clinton, Maryland. So I can't wait to share what this is all about. If you're always over there on Instagram, on YouTube, and on Facebook, not Instagram, but YouTube and Facebook. You can watch us. You can ask questions. You can leave comments. You can just engage throughout the whole wonderful Friday lunch hour that we're going to have with our wonderful, wonderful guests. So y'all know the rules. Share, and share again. Share on your Facebook page, share on your groups, share on your profile. Just share it out, because guys, you all are in for a special historical legacy treat here in Maryland. Look, I'm not going to prolong this anymore, okay, because I'm excited. What I would like to do is to have our guest speaker, Miss Pamela Howard, come up. But before she comes up, I want her just to give the audience just a really quick snippet of just who she is, where she's from, where she was born, and, just who she is. But don't talk about a lot, yes, because if you did give it all away, we wouldn't have a need for a podcast, right? Just a snippet of who you are, Miss Pam, and then we're going to get into the interview. So bring our guests up, please.
I'm Pamela Howard. I'm the Executive Director of Christmas in April in Prince George's County currently. I actually was born at the old Sibley Hospital in downtown DC. My mom grew up in Auth Village. When they say it takes a village, we all know that that's true. I grew up in Auth Village as well. I graduated from high school and grade school in Prince George's County. I've been a lifelong resident, as my entire family. I have 5 sisters. I was a Christmas in April volunteer since 1989 before becoming the
And Pam,
executive
I know
director.
I said don't give it all away. I know. We
I'm
like to have
sorry.
fun over here, y'all. We like to have fun. We like to learn, and we like to lead, but we're not giving it all away.
Very fine line between not enough and too much coffee. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Pam, where do you live now?
I actually live in Calvert County, Maryland, but I did grow up in Suitland.
Okay, wonderful.
Like I said, I grew up right off of Oth Road, and I and all of my sisters resided in that area until we got married and moved out. I lived in Temple Hills immediately after I got married, and I've been residing in Calvert County, Maryland since 2001.
Wow. Okay, guys, check this out. Now, I mentioned to you all, and y'all know the podcast, we always like to talk about synergy here, right? We always like to share with our guests what you may have in common with someone, but you didn't know it prior, but you have. That's what synergy is all about, finding out what we have in common and finding ways to work and support one another. So, of course, Pam knows me now, but I live in Calvert County, Maryland. I grew up in Calvert County, Maryland, but I live here in Clinton now. And one of your employees, who I know is behind the scenes, cheering you on 100%, Lydia Mason used to live in Calvert County as well. And she lives up in the area around here in the Prince George County community area where we all live now. So that's a synergy thing. Okay. So we live or lived in Calvert County, but we're all now central in Prince George County. And why is that important to our guests today? They're going to be blown away. We're going to share some good news. We're going to share some great news. We're going to share some not so good news in hopes to get support from our communities on how they can support this wonderful organization. So guys, as Pam already shared, she works for the Christmas in April in Prince George County, in my hometown of Clinton, Maryland. And she's been, the executive director for years. But I want to, before we go into the actual interview, Pam, I want to give you a legacy gift. Over the last 3 seasons, we don't just talk about people's legacy. We don't just say, hey, look what they do and look how they did it. We like to show people what you're doing in the community. And with that being said, don't get a tissue yet, but maybe later. We hope you enjoy this legacy gift that we're going to share with the audience. And guys, if you're an extrovert, you like to see things happen, right? You want to see it in front of you. If you're an introvert, we want to talk about it and be about it. Right now, we're going to do both. We're going to share it with you on the video, and then we're going to talk about it after that. So, Chris, if you could bring up our legacy video for Miss Pam. So Pam, let me just share that pictures are worth 1,000 words. So we basically just told your legacy via
And you
the.
know, I already need a tissue, right?
But what did you think about the video? Does that capture, the essence of what Christmas in April does in Prince George County to you?
It does, because it shows the diversity of the myriads of volunteers that we've had over the years. I mean everybody from civic groups and faith fellowships to the police and fire departments, along with county employees and DPI engineers and the unions of the electrical workers and the plumbers and the carpenters. I mean, without the assistance of every facet of our community, this program wouldn't be possible. It would never have been brought to fruition initially, and we couldn't have assisted the 3,000 plus homeowners that we've assisted over the last 37 years, doing close to $70 million worth of free work,
Wow.
without the involvement of the entire community.
And that's what
Um,
it's all about, Pam. That's what it's all about, community. It's that connection, that collaborative connection where you're helping those who may be disadvantaged, underserved, low income, disability, and that's what Christmas in April does. But Pam, let me ask you a direct question. What made you get involved with Christmas in April?
oh goodness, it was actually when I first got married in 1989. So I first got involved in late 89, early 90, I guess it was, when my first Christmas in April was. And my husband is a tile setter, and he's been voluntold for many
I like
years,
volunteer. I love that.
that he's going to be redoing a bathroom in one of the houses that were selected for inclusion. And I think the first year he built a bathroom for a homeowner that hadn't been upstairs in 20 years, because her bathroom didn't work, and her son carried her up the steps following the completion of her new bathroom. And um, she came downstairs crying, and so my husband didn't resist after I voluntold him for the next 35 years that he was going to be doing the same thing.
I love it. Okay, so have you always been in Prince George County for under Christmas or April? Were you in Calvert at some point?
I was not. I've always been an advocate for the Christmas and April program in Prince George's County, because that's where my roots are.
Wonderful. So, like, what positions have you held in these 35 years?
I was a regular volunteer. I coordinated skilled trades for several years. I've been on the House Selection Committee. I've been on the fundraising committees. I've been on virtually every committee that is available within the program. And occasionally I was voluntold too,
I feel you.
that I was going to be doing something. But a lot of it was contacting the homeowners that were selected for inclusion prior to the event, to remind them that the volunteers would be showing up on this day at this time, and not to be afraid or anxious about the program, because there was no cost to the homeowners that were selected,
Wow.
and there would never be any cost. And that our volunteers were going to show up, and they were going to show up rain or shine, and they
Wow.
were going to show up fully equipped to do the work that was agreed to. And sometimes that went beyond the day of event, which is what how it originally orchestrated, was to become a 1 day event.
Okay.
Let's with especially with the pandemic in 2020, we were only able to do outside work. So a lot of the homeowners that applied during that 2020 time period were selected again for inclusion subsequent to those dates, so that we could complete some of the work that was needed inside, because
Thank you.
the inside work is actually what was was most necessary for the security, independence, dignity
Yes.
of the homeowner.
Well,
The
definitely
outside work,
thanks
while
for sharing.
appreciated, is just the outside work. It's just doing some weeding and stuff.
Right. And I appreciate you sharing all that. We're going to get into some more of that, but let me go back a little bit. And I've already shared at the top of the show that we're located in Clinton, Maryland. Tell me about your establishment now. Where are you actually located in Clinton?
We're actually located currently at 7915 Malcolm Road, in the Mona Building, right off of Branch Avenue.
Give me a little
Uh,
bit of information about the Mona building for the guests or our audience who don't know of it and what it's about. Tell us a little history about the Mona building.
okay, so Cap Mona was the person who founded the Christmas in April program in Prince George's County. He and my parents were actually good friends. And maybe that got us involved initially too. My father was involved, my mother was involved, my sisters were involved, my husband has been involved, my cousins, everybody. I mean,
And your daughter.
and my daughter and my son, and their significant others too. So yeah, there's no shortage of nepotism in my family when it comes to the support of Christmas in April. Um, Cap Mona, like I said, established with the help of Paris Denning, the the county executive at the time of Prince George's County, with his help and enlisting the help of other business magnates of the era. They were able to establish this program in the county and make it a viable enterprise.
Wonderful.
And as a result, we've enjoyed the support of every county executive since Paris Glendenning, everybody from Wayne Curry and Rashawn Baker and Angela also Brooks, and Aisha Braveboy currently. So, we without the county support, without the support of the Department of Public Works removing all the trash, without the support of DPI doing all assisting us with all the inspections, along with all of our other valued inspectors, we wouldn't be able to complete the program on the level that we do at this point.
Thank you. Now, I shared with everyone at the top of the show that this is going to be some great news shared. There's going to be some, legacy news shared, and there's going to be some sad news shared, right? And we're not going to talk about the sad news right now. That's going to be last because I just want people to understand your legacy, Pam. And I want them to appreciate how you have volunteered along with your family and the next generation for years, for decades, to make other people's lives in the community better. If this is not a perfect example of what synergy is all about and what collaboration is all about, and realizing that we can't do it by ourselves, where we need, the general public, we need the county execs, we need the, councilmen and women at large, we need the federal government, we need the state government. So, but most importantly, we need those volunteers. You all call the people that work on people homes officers, or what? House officers or something? Is that
House captains?
House
So
captains.
the
Okay.
people that are assigned to each individual house, there are typically 1 to 2 people assigned per house that are
Okay.
in charge of determining the level of work that's to be done, and to try and keep from having to herd cats, at some
Yeah,
point in
yeah,
time,
yeah.
or keep everybody on task. Make sure that there's tarps down if you're painting, that kind of thing, so that we're not creating an environment that makes the homeowner anxious in any way, shape, or form. Because the homeowner is without the homeowner, there's no need for our involvement. Let's
Right,
face it.
right.
And the need is certainly exceeds what our means are.
Can
You
you
know,
tell us again what type of work is done? I know you mentioned that you had to work on the outside during COVID because of the pandemic,
right.
but what type of work have you done on the inside and outside on individuals' homes? And are they
Um,
targeted just towards the seniors, or there anyone can apply for the Christmas in April?
Anyone can apply. We can't accept everyone that applies to the program. Unfortunately, originally it was designated as a senior program, senior disabled program, and it initiated to preserve the dignity, security, safety of the homeowners of Prince George's County, who have sometimes occupied these residences for decades, generations even, and have just come to a point where they can no longer do the maintenance, and have kind of fallen behind in their efforts for their own safety. I mean, there might be loose carpet strips, or loose tiles, or a shaky toilet, or a leaky bathroom that may create a moisture situation that becomes unbearable from a allergic standpoint, perhaps. Front door locks that are broken, windows that are broken, electrical outlets that aren't grounded. These are all things that we can address. And we address these with the help, like I said, of the IBEW, local number 26, and with the apprenticeship, the plumbers apprenticeship group, with the Carpenters Alliance. All of these are native to Prince George's County. We enjoy their support, and with their support, we can get a lot more accomplished than we can with a bunch of unskilled volunteers. Not that we don't need unskilled volunteers, we do, and everybody has their own skill set. Um,
Wonderful.
and so while I'm not going to go, I'm not rewiring your house by any stretch of the imagination, but I can engineer the logistics needed to get your electrical wiring redone, or
Amazing.
get your ground plugs replaced.
Amazing. Let me give a little shout out to a few of our guests that join on. And I just want to thank you all for coming in, especially during 2026 as we get rid of 2025 for so many reasons.
Right.
Well, I do want to thank you for jumping on. Alba Washington, as always, she always shows up and jumps on and gives her input. Cynthia Lane, who's on our B2B Rose's team, I want to thank her. Sir Charles Carey, who's also on our B2B organization for Rosa. I want to thank Maria Thorpes for being here. I want to thank Dr. Arlene Span. I know a few of you all have some questions and we're going to bring it up. But right now, I just wanted to basically say thank you all for being here. Please share this out, guys. This is what Rose is all about, right? We try to stay true to how we collaborate in our community, the people that God allows us to meet, and how we like to tell their story. So I'm excited about this particular podcast, like the rest of them, but this one is really, really special to me on so many levels. And Pam, you may not know, or Lydia, I know she knows, but when we talk about legacy, when we talk about history, when we talk about ancestors, we're talking about those who've come before us, right? And those who worked hard for families to keep a legacy, especially a roof over their head. And with that being said, so many stories go untold about how many people have lost homes, have lost properties, have lost a legacy for their next generation. But you have supported a recipient. And I don't know if it's one, two times or what, but I met you, Pam, through Lydia Mason. I will not go any further without saying that, because people have to understand that when God allows you to get blessed with a certain group, give the person who brought you to that group credit, because they're the ones who really are working behind the scenes too, like we are, doing that day-to-day boots on the ground kind of work. So Lydia Mason, I just want to thank her. I know she's behind the scenes and she tries to stay behind the scenes, but I want to thank her for just saying, hey Sharon, look what's in your back door right now. Look what's here in Clinton, Maryland. You may want to come out and find out what they're doing, how they're doing it, and most importantly, who they're doing it with. So yes, I said, okay, Lydia, I will do what I can. So I made it a point to connect with you all because I heard about you through my aunt who passed away in 2018, no, 2019. And she had gotten support with the Christmas of April. And I think she had gotten a roof put on her home in Coward County, Maryland. But, you know, it went in one ear and kind of went out the other because I'm like, well, I'm not too familiar with the organization, but I'm so glad that it helped my aunt. Well, I'm almost ashamed to say that I'm not too familiar with it because I work in the federal government at the Department of Housing and Urban Development and been there this year 40 years, right? How can the heck I not know about the Christmas in April, especially in my own backyard? It's depressing to even think about it, but because of wonderful people like Lydia and who see the value of how we are trying to help the community here at Rosa, here, you know, just me as an individual. I just want to just give you your flowers right now. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the connection. Here's the kicker here, guys. One of your recipients, her name is Miss Ella McCall Hagan. Lydia said, Sharon, do you know who she is? I said, I have no idea. He said, girl, you need to know who she is. And I'm like, why? She said, well, she's one of the recipients of the Christmas in April in Prince George County. And then she goes on to say, oh, yeah, by the way, she was close friends with Rosa Parks. So I'm pausing for a second because when I get stumped, I just stop talking. My kids and my grandkids know me. When I get upset, I don't say anything. They're like, Mom, Grandma, you still there? So I get stumped and I was like, Lydia, are you kidding me? I said, I have to meet this lady. And she's like, Sharon, well, she's going to be coming to an event at you all's location in Clinton, and you need to stop by and meet her. And I made it a point to stop by. She couldn't make that one, but I did make it a point to stop by. But guys, y'all are going to hear about the legacy of Miss Ella. It's going to blow your mind. But let me get back to Pam. Pam, you know, thank you again. Before we go further, though, I want our video engineer to bring up a video because I want the next generation. If you all are, you know, definitely sharing this out, share it with your children, right? Share it with your grandchildren. Share it with your great-great-grandchildren because Pam is a perfect example how she's taken her family by the hand and said, I want you to help someone in your community. I want you to volunteer your labor, your time to help someone less fortunate than yourselves. Every child on this planet Earth needs to understand that concept. They need to understand how important it is just to give just because. So I got to pay some bills first. So if Chris, you could bring up our video. I just want to share the Roses Rise video, how we work in the community, trying to help our next generation find their leadership voice so that they can meet people like you, Pam, and hopefully help you all as you continue to help others. So. Let me tell you something. I am cracking up over here because when you know you got the right people in the house, you can see them in the green room dancing. Miss Ella is in the green room dancing, y'all. She's like, oh my God, she's showing the babies. She's showing the babies. That's what it's all about. You know you doing something right when you can have your elders in the background dancing on the success of what you do in the community. And I got my granddaughter Shayla here. She's, you know, listening to this podcast. I know there's pictures out there of her in this video, and she's like, grandma. But baby girl been here with me, from the conception of Rosa. She's been here behind the scenes at an event. She's been in the community when we did our 10 conferences. She's been at my workshop. She's seeing firsthand on what I'm doing in the community. And why am I sharing that, guys? It's because this year, 2026 marks the 10th year of the Rosa's Youth Empowerment Series, which we branched out in Washington, D.C. So I'm again, so some synergy here, right? The synergy is after hearing Pam's initial introduction, she started in DC. Miss Ella, she was homeless at one time in DC. And then Rosa comes around and say, hey, let's connect with some youth under the Marionberry Summer Youth Program, right? So we start working with the Francis L. Cardoza Education on campus. We work with the National Congress of Black Women, the DC Marionberry Summer Youth Program and Internship Program. And we have been going strong with this, guys. And this 10th year is a pivotal year for us. And that's why I'm so glad to be in 2026 now. So I just wanted to pay some bills with that. But I want to give a few people a gift, if you will. So if you all can, this is like going to be a little trivial, but I want to give you a copy of my book, True Synergy Work, Leading from Within. And, the subtitle is too much, so I'm not even going to go into it, but I just want to give you a copy of my book so you can see that Rosa's book was written the second year of the Rise Walit program. And that's our professional to youth program. Tell us if you all can remember, where was Pam originally born? What's her home base? Where was she born? Put it in the comments. And what I will do is shout you out and, of course, give you a copy of my book. And then we got a special gift for you, too. I'll tell you about that later. But yes, I see Cynthia out there, Abba out there, Sir Charles out there, Maria out there, Dr. Arlene. If you all can tell us, where was Pam born? Put it in the chat. And the first person that wins, we'll put it to the correct answer and we'll let you know. So Pam, let's move on. So now that you've shared your legacy about how you got involved with Christmas in April, now that you've shared that why you've been doing it and your family's been doing it, tell us a little bit about your relationship, okay, with Miss Ella.
I just want to kind of piggyback on something that you said about people coming into your life, and actually originally Miss Ella wasn't going to apply for the program because she was not happy with the way her house looked, and I had the wonderful opportunity to become friends with and speak to her goddaughter, Miss Willa Peters. Who I encouraged to apply for the program as well, along with Miss Ella, and fortunately, both of them were accepted by our board last year for the 2025 program, and I've enjoyed a wonderful relationship with both of those strong leading women. And they have become a source of inspiration for me. I also want to mention that Willa's not well, and so if everybody could keep Willa in their prayers as she deals with some pretty chronic health issues.
Thank you.
But Miss Ella has been selected to receive the program again in 2026. Has already been assigned a house captain. We were able to do some extensive work in her bathrooms in the 2025 calendar year program year, and but it wasn't enough to provide her with a firmly secure, independent, and dignified surrounding.
Well, I want to
So we're
thank
going
you.
to go back in there again, and we're going to do it again until we get it right. So
Thank you. Thank you. So, guys, you all see the need, right, of Christmas on April in Prince George County, especially here in Prince George County, because there's been a lot of shifting going around here. And people may not even be telling their stories about how much they're struggling to keep up with utility bills, struggling to keep up with repairs in their home to reduce utility bills, just struggling to put food on their table for their families. And God knows what other issues that they're dealing with. So I definitely think this is really an on-time podcast show. I want to, before we go into the sad news, I would like to bring up if Miss Ella can come on the screen, and hopefully she can hear us now. But if we could bring her up so the audience can see her. Hi, Miss Ella. Can you
Hi, can
hear
you
us?
hear me?
Yes, we can see
Oh,
you
okay.
and hear you.
hey,
Uh,
sweetie.
please introduce yourself. Tell the audience. Bring your camera up so we can see your beautiful face because it's not showing everything. So
Oh,
kind of bring your camera closer or lift it backwards so we can see all of you. But
Got the best hats.
I love her hat. My mom loved hats, so that's another synergy thing. But Miss Ella, please tell the audience. And before we hold on, let me just congratulate Maria Thorpe for being the winner. You did live originally in Prince George County, right?
I grew up in Suitland, but I was actually born in DC. I was born in
Ah,
Old Sibley
what
Hospital.
you said.
mm.
Unfortunately, Maria, that's not the correct answer.
Oh, I guess I gave it away. Sorry about that.
That's okay. What part of DC were you born in?
And at Old Sibley, the year after I was born, they built the new hospital. So there weren't a lot of hospitals in the Maryland suburbs at the time. So and we know what that makes me, right?
No, stop it. Let me ask Miss Ella if you could just tell the audience a little bit about your background, so that because you were born originally in DC as well, and
Yeah.
then we're gonna get to how you knew Rosa Parks and what some of the initiatives you've done for Rosa Parks. So please share.
hmm Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. Okay. I was born in Washington, D.C. at they called it Foggy Bottom. That's
Mm,
Right
where
there.
all, back
GW.
in the late 30s and 40s, that's where all the black folk, that's where we had to live. And they designated where we supposed to live because we couldn't go downtown, we couldn't shop. We could shop a little bit, but we couldn't go to the movies, to the hotels, none of that. We had to stay where they told us to stay in our community. And so I was born Foggy Bottom on Virginia Avenue, where the uh, Kennedy Center is
Center.
sitting. There were apartments there for us. I was
Mm,
born right there,
wow.
and then the Gallinger Hospital. Well, now they changed the name so many times, but anyway, it was called Gallinger, but DC General. That's because I was the only one that I could go to, or Freeman's Hospital from
Mm,
Howard University. That only two that you could go, to. So I moved. We moved over to the shore area,
okay.
and I was around 7. Yeah, around 7, almost 8, and moved. We had to move it with my grandmother because my stepfather. The first time I've been homeless was when I was a child. My stepfather put us out 3 o'clock in the morning,
Wow.
and we had nowhere to go. And finally, we had to move in with my grandmother, who had a 1 bedroom apartment, and my grandfather was in the Navy, so it was
Mm,
during World War II, to all of that. Anyway, I there was a gentleman that lived across the street from me, and his name was Dr. Carter G. Woodson. And Dr. Woodson was the um, he put together Black History Week, if you remember,
yes, ma'am.
Black History Week, and then it went into a month. But anyway, and there were so many famous people that was coming there, but we didn't know them. You know, we didn't even, they called him doctor. We called him mister because we said, he ain't no doctor, you know, because the only thing we didn't know about PhDs. The only thing we knew was a doctor, period. And and you know, he would buy us candy, and he, you know, he was like the godfather of the block. He cared about us, and we had a mixed group because we had poor, middle class, wealthy people, black businesses in the you know, in the neighborhood, and we had the Jewish community, the Jewish grocery stores, who when we didn't have the money, we could charge it and we pay them when we got it. And they treated us good. And then we had the Chinese restaurants and the Chinese laundries. So that was our, that made up our neighborhood.
Well, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. Of course, you know, I'm going to ask you
Mhm.
in a minute. I want to get back to Pam for a second, but I'm going to ask you, how did you meet Rosa Parks? Okay, but I want you to think about that for a second. I'm going to ask Pam something, and then
Mhm.
we'll go into that conversation. So, Pam, back to you. Now, the audience has been informed, right? They have been educated about the Christmas in April in Prince George County. Our goal today for this podcast is to notify the public what you're facing right now as the executive director, as a president, Mel and Lydia, all of you all are facing right now. I want you to share that, even though we're kind of going back between happy, sad, and happy news. I, I,
Right.
I have to do it because that's the only way that you can educate the community on how important it is to get the word out about, you know, our community. So what's happening now with you in your office in Clinton, Maryland?
Well, currently, well, I think that our most important mission going forward is to identify a generation of dedicated volunteers that'll sustain this program into future generations. That being said, on November 7th, we received a notice to vacate the offices that we've occupied since 1989 free of charge, and to do it by the 15th of January.
Mm.
Which is right in, you know, as we're selecting the recipients for our program, trying to identify the house captains that are to be assigned to those recipients, etc. And you know, while we thought we were pretty sure that the county was going to be able to find us some space, that hasn't been the case.
Mm.
And you know, I asked the current landlord for an extension to that period of the 15th, which was also denied this morning. So
Right.
um you know, it's kind of ironic that a program that was developed for housing finds itself homeless.
Oh,
um,
wow. That is so
um,
Every
sad.
time, been there,
um,
done that. Mm.
so what we're trying to do, I do have the chief of staff for the county executive that is supposed to get back to us on Monday, that is still trying to identify some space, even if it's temporary, that could provide us with some relief, even temporarily, that will propel us into the at least through the April event.
Mhm.
Our big fundraiser is scheduled currently for September 25th. So I think that's far enough in advance, and that's the golf tournament at the course at Andrews Air Force Base, and that's a Friday, September the 25th. But currently, our biggest and I've been trying to put a positive spin on it by calling it
Yeah.
an opportunity disguised as a challenge. Um,
Yeah.
but it looms large,
Well,
and it 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 hinders our our production. You
no,
know,
I
as far as
understand.
on behalf of the community. I mean, we want to do the most good.
Yes.
But we can't do that, you know, sans copier or computer or phones, you know, on a street corner. So,
Well,
um,
one of the reasons why we did this podcast today, guys, because I really was going to take a break and go come back on January 16th. But when I spoke to Pam a few days ago. I said, Pam, tell your story.
Mm,
Tell your
mm,
legacy story. Reach out to every news station you can possibly have connections with and tell your story. How can a 3 decade plus year organization be faced with becoming homeless while you're helping so many who are unfortunately may become homeless because they can't afford to keep up their home and keep repairs up in their home? So I said, call WUSA Channel 9, call CBS, call ABC, call anyone that has a voice. Call the executives, the county executives, call our governor, call our mayors, call everyone in Prince George County and say, guys, you all need to be put on the radar.
mm,
So I sent an email to a news station. I haven't heard back yet, but I said, you know what? I'm not going to wait for the news station to call me back. Let's just put it out here now and
exactly.
have our community share it, because I know Rosa has been blessed to have met some great legacy builders and seekers here in Prince George County. And I know they know, the governor, Westmore. I know they know Angela Austin-Brook. I know they know, our county exec. I know these people personally. So I'm asking you all, if you're watching this video or this podcast show, please, please, please get the word out immediately that this is a worthy organization who needs help right now. And if you love history like I do,
Yes.
you love legacy like I do, and if you love
Mm,
the next generation, this is really perfect timing to help us all come together. So thank you, Pam, for sharing that. Um,
mm.
Miss Ella, now we're going to ask you about Rosa Parks. How did you get to meet Rosa Parks, and what has your legacy been like?
Okay. I can't be, I'm a social worker. I got a chance to go to college through scholarships because of Marion Barry. And
Mm,
got scholarships for many of us. But anyway, was running I was helping to run a shelter called the Capital City Inn. Do you remember the motel, the Capital
I'm
City Inn?
I'm not from DC, so I
Oh,
don't
okay,
remember.
all right. Well, we had like almost 600 families, and I don't know how many, almost 1,000 children.
Wow.
and and I talked to Miss Kathy Hughes. She was with she had WOL. She was on WOL then,
Okay.
and I told her, we needed help, and when they moved out, they needed things to, they needed things. So she started helping me. She introduced me to Dr. C. Dolores Tucker. So I
Wow.
became a volunteer for Dr. Tucker, and Dr. Tucker used to send the kids from the shelter. Her and Kathy would send them to Piney Wood, Mississippi camp. It was a school camp in Mississippi. Then I would do, everything. I do everything to help these two ladies. Okay, they gave a big celebration for Mrs. Parks on her 77th birthday, 1990, at the Kennedy Center. It was huge, and all of the politicians, everybody was involved.
Okay.
I was the hostess. They asked me to host mm, Miss Parks and her associate, yeah,
Okay.
Miss Steele. So that was one weekend. That weekend turned to, I think it's 35 years now. She had an organization that she had founded for the youth,
Okay.
and she needed to set up a chapter here. She had chapters all over different states, and she needed a chapter here, uh, for us to teach. Her thing is education and historical education and research with the kids, and they would travel with her, tracing the Underground Railroad to the modern day civil rights movement. Every
Wow.
Sunday, she would take them. She did it for 10 years. People only talk about the bus, but they didn't know what this lady did. She loved children and how she wanted our kids to learn and to
Yes,
do
ma'am.
things. And that's how I met Miss Parks. I was with her. I traveled with her. I met people. I met Mamie Teal, Miss Teal. And I mean, the stories are long. Everybody wants me. You need to do a documentary. You need blah blah blah. But anyway, I have now. We have the children and I got together, and we have a exhibit. Pictures of her. The children. We came up with quilts, historical quilts. You know, and they we pro- well, the kids produced them. We produced it, but we had quilt makers who are award winning who volunteered to make it. So the quilts we have are beautiful. But anyway,
Thank you.
that's
Thank you.
my business box.
Thank you for sharing that. And guys, I hope you all are really tuned into this. This is how the Christmas in April in Prince. Oh, this is the type of people, okay, the Christmas in April in PG County is helping. They found a jewel, a legacy jewel, guys, in the community and been helping her for a few years now. How better can life be when you have this type of synergy here? So Pam, I want you to tell us about one of the events that you host. You kind of mentioned it earlier at the show, but I want you to give us a little bit more history behind it. For the last 35 years, you all help raise funds for your repairs on individuals' homes. But you had an event just recently at the Andrews Air Force Base, and it was the 35th annual. Can you give us a little information about how that started and will you all continue that?
It is going to be continued. Actually, this will be our 36th. That is going to be held on September the 25th, which is a Friday. We switched it from a Monday because we thought that would be a lot um, more warmly received from the golfing community. I mean, we're looking at advancing other fundraising opportunities that will be more inclusive for more individuals that may not golf. We're talking about doing a 5K and doing. We tried to do it at Baysock Stadium. We're going to do, running for homes.
Yeah, yeah.
At the Baysock Stadium, and thought we could do the baseball diamond and the whole thing. But yeah, they're doing some renovations there, and it didn't work out for them. I do have a couple of board members and faith memberships that are looking for opportunities in the community where we could host a 5K.
Okay.
And they're looking to facilitate that as well. The golf tournament in Andrews, it's actually going to occupy both 18-hole golf courses at Andrews. We can uh, field groups of 200 or more golfers. Depending, we hope to have that event sell out. We hope to have the sponsorships that we've enjoyed in the past, and that has single-handedly become the biggest fundraiser in our arsenal to help provide the materials that are required to do the houses that have been accepted. As far as the acceptance of the homes goes, the need is so great, and it far exceeds our ability um, to accept and initiate the repairs that are required. Last year we had 153 applications. Only 57 houses were accepted.
Wow.
This year we had about 120 applications, and only 57 houses can be accepted based on current budget constraints.
Right.
The funding, the grant funding is becoming more and more marginal. A lot of our past sponsorships have been absorbed by larger companies, which are no longer supporting the communities because they're no longer housed in our communities.
I understand.
They're in North Dakota or Delaware or someplace else, and a lot of the past support we'd have enjoyed on a material basis has been curtailed in the recent past due to those constraints they're being imposed on them by their new leadership.
Well, thank you for sharing that. So, guys, what can I say, right? I mean, this is a true community call to action for a worthy cause on so many levels. I mean, I met Miss Ella at this event, and when you look at the video again, you just see her sitting down Just she's just telling me her whole story, and I'm having a video recorded, and I'm just sucking it all in, right? Because I'm like, this is a jackpot for me because I wanted to meet, someone of her caliber who knew some of the legacy people that we teach our youth about, and to have met her through the Christmas in April of Prince George County, to me, that's priceless. Okay, you can put a dollar amount on that type of synergy, that type of connection. So I want to show off a little bit because not only was I was able to meet her there, I was able to be the mistress of ceremony for the 35th golf tournament. And
Wow.
then, being there, I could, put my name in the hat for a raffle. And, y'all not going to believe what I won. Y'all not going to believe what I won. Y'all not gonna believe it. Well, let me just show it to you. I won this book.
Yes.
I won Miss Ella books where she talks about her relationship with Rosa Parks. I won another one of these books from Miss Ella's library, Legacy Library, that she signed for me, and I got another one. I won this one as well. And I also received a picture. I won a picture of Miss Ella and Rosa Parks, and all of that was thankful, because of the Christmas and April in Prince George County. I wouldn't have never been able to given that opportunity if it hadn't been for this organization. So, Miss Pam, I like for you to tell our audience how they can support you, where they can go to look you up, where they can donate, where they can participate in upcoming fundraiser events. How do they do that?
Okay, you can participate on many levels. I mean, monetary donations are always accepted. We're currently in the process of getting a QR code so that can be done online at our website, which is christmasinaaprilpg.org. And hopefully that'll be done within the next couple of weeks here. If you would like to become a house captain, if you would like to be a volunteer, both of those opportunities can be advanced on our website. There is a link where you can sign up and submit forms for leadership levels of being a volunteer or a house captain. If you have a certain area that you want to be assigned to, if you have a civic group, a sorority, a fraternity, a church group, anybody that wants to be assigned together, Ms. Ella can tell you that we keep the groups together when we can,
Yes.
and they work very, very well together. And they, I know that Tara
Oh Lord.
was by Miss Ella's side a lot of the time. Lydia and I frequented her home on a couple of occasions,
Wow.
and enjoyed every moment of the opportunity to share her history. And just a little bit more information. I mean, my family got off the boat. We just didn't go very far. My dad grew up in Anacostia. My
Yeah.
mother grew up and went to Surrattsville. So we didn't get off, we get too far, but my mother-in-law actually was a nurse at Goucher. No, what was the name of the hospital that you said, Miss
It
Ella?
was Gallinger.
Gallinger. That's where she was. She was a nurse at Gallinger Hospital. So, yeah. So I mean, these full circle moments are not accidental. I mean, there's no coincidence here. I mean, this village is in place, and we're in place to help. And however we can facilitate that is how we're going to do it. If I have to work out of my car for the next couple of weeks,
we're not going to have that, guys. Like I said, everyone.
Hopefully that'll be remedied.
No, we're not having that. So, guys, I've shared already. Please, please, please share this. You can watch it. For those who are watching now, thank you, thank you, thank you. I know you're going to share it, but if you could definitely watch, have your whole community watch this later. This would be great. I also want to, I got to pay another bill. So, Crystal, if you could bring up the Roses B2B flyer, where we're doing a call to action for our community, come on board, because we're going to commit to helping the Christmas in April platform. So I just wanted to show you all the flyer where it's the Roses Business to Business organization, where this is our network. Going forward in 2026, we're going to be putting on monthly events, and we're going to be hosting it to build community collaboration. I have already got my first round of founding B2B members, and Dr. Arlene Span is on, Sir Charles Carey is on. We got Lisa de Washington, we have Vanessa Blackwell, we have others who signed up to be a B2B partner. So I want you all to know that, as I mentioned before, we can't do this alone. But once we reach our hands out and help other organizations, we're helping one another too. So Miss Ella, you got my full support. Miss Pamela, you got my full support on what you're doing for Christmas in April. Just know that we're going to continue to tell your legacy story. I would like for Chris to show your video again of your legacy video, but Chris, it doesn't have to run through the whole presentation. Once it gets past Miss Ella, we can cut it off. But I want the audience to see again what these wonderful people, our elders, our not so elders, okay, have been doing in the community to help those in need. So thank you. love it. I love it when that little girl starts walking across.
That is so cute.
My, you know,
I
my
would be.
granddaughter, Savea, created the Synergy Girl animation. And I just want to say our young people are so talented on so many levels,
Really are.
guys. We got to stay connected with them.
Yeah.
Again, I want to thank Dr. Arlene Span for being here. I want to thank Sir Charles Carey for being here. And he's right. He was there with us at the 35th golf tournament, and he was behind the scene taking photos and pictures and helping me out, and I appreciate him for that. You know, we want to thank Cynthia Lane for being here. We want to thank Albert Washington for being here. We want y'all to share this out. Definitely keep us in your prayers. Pray for, not only just pray, but put to action, okay? Helping the Christmas in April in Prince George County find a location. I'm gonna ask Miss Pamela and Miss Ella to stay behind the scenes in the green room. But Miss Pamela, do you have any last words on what you would like to do your call of action to the community for?
Actually, I just want to thank you very much for this opportunity. I also want to thank you immensely for being our MC, our Mistress of Ceremonies at the 35th Annual Golf Tournament. And I actually would love to invite you to do that again if you're so able.
Consider it done.
You know, as far as the type of space we need, we don't need much. We need something, you know, a couple hundred square feet, maybe with access to a meeting room occasionally, but not you know, on the daily. So, you know, our needs are pretty minimal. Our needs as a staff are minimal. Our need to be in the community that we serve is not minimal. The need is great, and cannot be understated. So you know, I look forward to new opportunities, to new people, to engaging an entirely new generation of volunteer.
Yes, ma'am.
To make this program sustainable, because you know, and I mean, I might be a recipient one day soon. I don't know if you guys saw in the golf tournament. I had just shattered my leg not a month before the golf tournament, so I was gimping around and probably didn't do myself any favors by doing so.
Right.
But yeah, so hopefully I'll be a lot more mobile.
Okay.
At the next
Well,
event.
I'm sure you will, and I just want to make it plain to the audience, guys. She needs this small space on what she's asking for at no cost.
That's right.
If we could have it at no cost, that's what is preferred, because we're trying to raise funds to help, you know, underserved communities, right? So just keep that in mind. I just want to say, you know, again to Lydia Mason, thank you, thank you, thank you. I know how
He's
hard
over there.
you work behind the scenes, and she loves to stay behind the scenes. We're gonna get you out of
Yes,
that.
she does.
But I know how hard you work behind the scenes, and I just want to say thank you for everything you've done, everything that you will do, and I'm wishing you the absolute, and everyone out there, the absolute best in 2026 as we build synergy together for our next generation. Miss Ella, I cannot stress how you have constantly made my day. And you constantly make my life, because for you to still be here telling us how you met our ancestors that we talk about, and we're trying to educate our youth about, people just don't understand how priceless that is right now in today's time, when so much history is being taken away from us. You're able to be here and say, oh no, I can tell you my story because I lived it. I was once homeless. I was, you know, homeless, helping the homeless. Okay, I was homeless, helping the homeless.
Answer that question.
Yes,
Priceless.
yes.
Priceless.
Listen, I love you all. I love you, Pam, and my girl. I forgot your name. You know, I'm
Miss
all
Sharon,
Miss
Lydia.
and Sharon. Oh my God, I love you guys so much. You are
Love
angels.
you too, Miss Ella.
Oh,
We love you too.
We love you, Miss Ella. We're looking forward to seeing you again soon.
oh, thank you.
And hopefully we'll be able to have lunch with Willa too. We'll come and grab you both up.
Yes.
Um,
Pamela, there was one last question here. Is there a possibility of combining with other Christmas and April groups in other counties?
We collaborate with the Christmas and April programs in Maryland, as far as grant opportunities and things like that. Try and glean some maybe some different options that we hadn't considered previously. As far as occupying space with them, um, every because we're designated to a certain area, they want us to stay in the counties that we serve.
Okay, I understand.
And
Thank
that's
you, because I had another lady who asked me the same thing, and she was in another county as well, and she wanted to know if they could get her, support in different counties, but live in the county that they live in, and the answer is no. So that's what I'm
right.
hearing. Guys, you all are great. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be in the green room. Thank you again, guys. Happy New Year's to everyone. Thank you for this wonderful on-time podcast. And Chris, if you could take us out with our theme song, music, and everything, I would really appreciate it. Thank you, guys, and see you on January 16th. We're going to have the next podcast, and y'all know Pastor Margot Gross is going to be our podcast guest. Guys, let me tell you something. Woo, God has already blessed us on so many levels in 2026, but the stuff she's going to share with you is going to blow your mind as well. So thank you, God. Thank you, Pamela. Thank you, Lydia. Thank you, Miss Ella. Thank you, Smart Video Girl. Thank you, Sean. Thank you to all our guests, guys. Y'all made my day.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you for everyone who attended. Thank you for sharing.
Stay behind, guys.
Living legends originate, sharing knowledge with you and me, teaching us how to lead with Sharon Lee. Sharon Lee, on the run. Sharon Lee.
Yeah, that's her.